Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, I'm here with the champ of the 140-pound division, WBA champ and WBSS, the Super Series finalist, Regis Prograis. Champ, how are you doing today, sir?
Perfect. Just finished a little workout, a little spar, but I'm doing perfect.
I love it, man. Hey, what are you working with right now? What is this?
It's a back machine, you know, inversion table, inversion machine. So you know, you got a little, just get loosened up a little bit, get the blood flowing to your head. Just get on this, go lean back. That's all.
Absolutely, my man. So, I've been seeing you around our city here in Los Angeles recently.
Resident now.
You're living here now?
Yeah, I live here. I actually live here now. I still have a residence in Houston. I'm building some stuff in New Orleans, but as far as right now, resident of LA.
Very nice, very nice. Well, we love having you here to add to the huge talent pool.
Exactly.
What do you think about the talent pool out here versus, you know, what we kind of came from in the South?
I think, I mean, for me, you know, starting off, you know, the whole reason, like, I stayed in Houston the whole time. I stayed in Houston for 13 years, and the whole reason was for boxing. So the boxing scene is huge in Houston. It's a lot of real good fighters out there. But I just felt like now it was just that it was time for me to make that move, you know, to as far as like everything, you know, as far as working out and training and even you know, with the media and all that stuff, everything, most of the stuff is out here, so it's big opportunities for me. So that's why, you know, I made the move. You know, of course, it's like I said, it's still a whole, I'm still go back to Houston to train, do training camp, just like I always do. But as far as, you know, making that, I made that move here because, like, my thing, I always get stronger in the off season. You know, so for me, this is off season right now. I'm not in training camp. I don't have a fight schedule right now. But as you can see, I'm sweating. I'm training. I just finished sparring. So I get better in the off season. I feel like it's, you know, it was just better for me to be here in the off season, to live here. It's a like a real good environment out here. And you know, as far as training wise, I feel like I can get stronger here. You know, it's more things here for me right now. So that's why I made the move to LA.
For sure, and you're staying in shape. Because you are a finalist now in the World Boxing Super Series, and you're going to eventually have to go up against Josh Thaler to unify
WBA, IBF, the ring, Muhammad Ali trophy.
So I mean, you beat Josh Thaler, and you become, you know, the man. You know, if I'm being honest,
listen, the thing is, I'm already the man that 140. You know, I want really solidified. Listen, it's no debate, because right now it's a little debate. They got 4 champions. Most people do say I'm the man. I think, of course, I know I'm the man, but to solidify that, after Josh Thaler, I'll have everything. You know, they still got two other belts out there, but I really don't think that'll even matter. You know, like, I'll be, you know, the 2 best right now are fighting the tournament. You got #1 and #2 fighters in the world fighting each other in their primes, undefeated champions next. You know, you don't get that in boxing. Most of the time, you just don't. You don't get that in boxing. They let things marinate. They let fucking fights marinate so much. And, you know, as we can see what happened on the weekend, you try to let things marinate too much and they get overcooked. And that's what happened. It got overcooked, and now all that money is gone for both fighters, you know. With this, it's none of that stuff. You know, you got the #1 and #2 fighter in the world. I don't think that's happening in no other division right now. No division except 140. The #1 and #2, the legitimate #1 and #2 fighters in the world fight each other, and that's happening next. Yeah,
well, a huge part of the reason I'm out here is because I do think you're the man. Personally, I mean, not that it matters, but personally, for the Knucklehead Nation out there, I do think Regis is the best at 140. I'm excited to see you fight Josh Thaler, because I think it's interesting, you know, not only is he, you know, a good fighter, but it's also cool to, like, have you flying out to Scotland, and, you know, you guys were kind of jawing at each other. How was your experience out there in Scotland?
Man, to be honest, you know, on the videos and stuff, it looked like we was beefing and stuff like that, but to be honest, like, I had a real good time. The crazy thing is, more people know me out there than know me here in America. I'm walking down the street, people blowing at me. I'm walking everywhere, people like, oh, what's up, Regis? Even the fans that was booing, like, because I went in the ring and talked, you know, with me and Josh Taylor talked a little shit to each other.
I remember.
The fans was booing me. Back in the hotel, the same dudes was booing me. They in the hotel. Man, let's go out. Let's do this, man. You a real good fighter, man. I can't wait till y'all fight. Of course, they going to say that man going to win. Of course, you know, but taking pictures with me, want to go out with me and all that type of stuff, showing me all around. Just tell me, don't go to your flight. Stay here for another week. We going to show you around town and all that stuff. So, for me, it was all love over there, you know. And of course, you know, and the crazy thing is, we actually, like, so after the fight, we went out to a casino and stuff like that, and I was actually sitting, me and Josh Thaler, his girlfriend, his sister, his cousins, we all, my team, my people, we all sitting at the same table.
Wow.
Like literally me and Josh Thaler like sitting at the same table.
Wow.
Of course we gonna fight each other next, so it wasn't no friendliness going on, but you know, we kind of sized each other. We both sized each other. I'm looking at him he looking at me. You know, I can see him out the corner of his eyes looking at me and stuff like that. I'm looking at him. So, you know, we was definitely, you know, sizing each other up. But we was all, literally all at the same, like not a big table, a small table with about 10 people. We all like sitting there together talking and all that type of shit. So it was a real good experience out there, and I just can't wait to fight.
Oh, man, that's going to be an exciting fight. You guys were kind of, I mean, I noticed the mutual respect, but I did see the jawing back and forth. There. What did you guys tell each other, if you don't mind me asking?
The first word of his, you know, was like, be ready for a war. I'll be ready for a war. I said, you know, I'm be ready. You know, no matter what, I'm definitely, whatever you come with, I'm going to be ready for it. And then I was just like, bro, like, you got hit too much. You know, you can't get hit like that from me. You better go fucking tighten that shit up. Go in the gym, tighten that shit up. You and your trainer better do something, because if I hit you like that, I'm knocking you out. I told him I'm gonna knock you out, and I was like, bro, look at your eye. And so that's kind of when it, you know, that's kind of when it started getting a little spicy and stuff like that. Like, bro, like, look what Baranchek did your eye. So if you think he gonna do that, you know, Baranchek, of course, is a good fighter, but he not on my level, you know. So, you know, he throw a lot of big, wild punches and stuff like that. And to be honest, from what I heard, is that Baranchek, they flew him out there 36 hours before the fight, which is horrible. You know, he was in all kinds of illegal stuff. You know, people were seeing all on the internet. He was in, they don't know if he was gonna go in the tournament, out the tournament. He finally made up his mind last minute, and he went with Freddie Roach for the last like 3 weeks and stuff like that. 3 weeks of training. You know, so you know, you can't make excuses. Josh Thaler definitely won, but this is gonna be a different story. With me, it's not gonna be Baranchek. It's gonna be a whole different ball game. You know, I'm a whole different fighter. You know, if I want, I can fight however I want to. I can be slippery. I don't have to get hit. If I want to go to war with him, I can do that. I'll definitely come out on top. You know, but I told him, you tighten your shit up. Because guess what? This a different monster right here.
You definitely don't want to get hit too much and tighten up. And that's another thing I really admire about you is I love your defense. I love your defense. What have you done to kind of develop your defense? Because I feel like a lot of guys develop their offense. But even now in sparring downstairs, like I notice you're like a master of distance. You know exactly when to move and if to move. I mean, I saw at one point the dude threw a straight at you downstairs and you didn't even move because you knew it wasn't going to reach. What have you done to kind of develop that, you know? Is that instinct?
It's just instinct, bro. Boxing IQ is real high, you know. Most people just didn't see it because early in my career, of course, I was knocking everybody out. So people were saying, you know, I always prove people wrong, you know. People don't know from the beginning, once I was my first fight on Showbox, you know, I remember Steve. I saw Steve in New York, Steve Fallhood, and, you know, he was saying, you know, I don't think he's a power puncher like his record shows. After that, you know, I stopped somebody. After that, they was like, nah, I think he hits hard. I think he hits hard that we give him credit for, but I still don't think he's a power puncher. The fight after that, first round knockout. After that, it was a string of knockouts because I showed that, oh, I can knock people out. I don't have to go out there and just throw a lot of punches and be slick. Now, people know I can punch. People know I can knock people out. Now, it's going back to, for me, it's just going back to, you know, showing that I have defense. So for me, I know I'm the total package. I really could do everything in the ring. It's nothing, I feel like it's really nothing besides turning right-handed. It's nothing else I can't. I know I can't do that, and I'll never try. But besides that, I can do everything in the ring.
Is that something you're working on too?
I'm not working on that. I'm definitely not worried about that. Some people turn right-handed. You know, most people can't do it. It's only certain people. It's only a couple of people in the world that can really turn right-handed and be effective at it. You know, but most people, they switch and they just switching for nothing. They're not real good at switching. They just switching to try to, you know, throw off their opponent and stuff like that. But as far as, you know, as far as me, nah, I'm not working on trying to switch right hand or nothing like that. I'm staying southpaw. I'm a southpaw. That's what I do.
Well, 24-0, 20 knockouts. I think you've got some power, if I got to be honest.
I got to have some power, 20 knockouts.
Yeah, man. So we were talking about marinating something until it's overcooked, or until it's spoiled, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was watching the broadcast, Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua. I was watching DAZN, and they brought you on the TV, and I said, "Man, I've been coming after him to try to get him on this interview. This is like it's like an omen. I definitely got to reach out to him now." But my goodness, I remember you mentioning in the interview, you shed a tear for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I almost. I did. I'm like, bro. and my partners got on my ass about it. They're like, come on, man, you a bitch. How you gonna shed a tear for him? And I'm like, for me, it's not about the fighter. It's not about the name of the fighter. For me, it's just sad you seen a super champion go down like that. You know, like same thing with Tyson and Buster Douglas. You got somebody historic and they just get beat bad like that. So that's for me. It was so sad to see. And for me, I don't know. I'm not Andy Joshua, and I definitely don't want to take nothing against Ruiz. But for me, it just seemed like he just wasn't up for the fight. It seemed like he wasn't serious. I was looking at him, you know, I was looking at him when he was before the fight started. He was just sitting on the ring, just chewing on his mouthpiece, like just very, very relaxed. Like he wasn't even about to fight. Like he was about to watch the fight, you know. Like, so for me, it looked like, you know, he wasn't ready to fight. Or he just took him lightly, basically. Because Miller, you know, Big Babe Miller tested. So for me, it just looked like, you know, he didn't get up for the fight. So, you know, and like I said, nothing to take from Ruiz, but it's just sad to see. I'm definitely happy for Ruiz. It was like a tear of sadness and a joy. The first Mexican heavyweight in the history of boxing. So, you know, and we was on the same plane together, and you know, after I told him, bro, you just made history. You know, you need to have people behind you doing something. You need to go to Mexico. They need to have a parade for you. They need to have a Mexican day for you.
Yeah, I agree.
You need to have everything for you. You need to be blowing up just because, bro, you really did history. And it seemed, and the crazy thing, so I went on the plane, myself, I went to the back, and I told the stewardess and stuff like that, I'm like, listen, you actually have 2 boxing champions on this plane right now. I don't know if y'all know, but you have 2 boxing champions. I was like, I won, but don't worry about me right now. But this dude, Andy Ruiz, you got heavyweight champion of the world sitting up there right now. You got a dude sitting on y'all same plane right now, and y'all need to. They didn't announce him or nothing like that, but I was like, bro, y'all need to. I was just like, you know, I was trying to make a case, you know, for that. I didn't want to tell him announce it, but I was just trying to tell him, make a case, like, bro, like this, you got history sitting on the plane. You really have history sitting on your plane. You know, so that's why, like, it was just, you know, joy. It was just like a lot of joy and a lot of sadness for somebody like that. And it was the sadness too because the big fight is gone. The Deontay Wilder and Joshua, that's gone. For now, right? I mean, you never know. Listen, you never know. You're right. You never know. But if Ruiz did that to him, what Joshua go? I mean, what Wilder gonna do? If Ruiz did it to him, what you think Wilder gonna do? For me, in my opinion, Wilder been the best heavyweight in the world for years now. So I just know, like, he tearing things up. He gonna knock people out. And that's like actually my favorite heavyweight right now. You know, I just don't think nobody can beat him. You know, and of course everybody want to see him and Joshua. And I always say, he'll knock Joshua out. I'm telling you, he'll knock him out. Well,
I want, you know, your boxing IQ is ridiculous. So what happened in there? What's your opinion on what happened in there between Ruiz and Joshua? How was Ruiz able to finish him?
He hurt him. He couldn't recover. You can tell. Like, listen, when you got somebody that's, wait, I gotta show you because I can't. When you got somebody that's just falling all over the mat like this, and he just put his, I think his glove on the back of his head, he's still falling all over the place. His equilibrium is off, so he can't recover. He just never recovered from it. You know, he got hit with that shot. He got hit with those fast shots from Ruiz, and he just never. For me, he never recovered. And then that was it. He never recovered. He couldn't recover from it, and Ruiz threw, you know, he threw the quick shots. I don't think the big shots really got him. The quick, fast shots that he didn't see, that's the ones that got him. He had them all over the place, and he couldn't recover, and that was it.
You think he beats Ruiz in a rematch? It looks like they exercised the rematch clause. It looks like it's going to happen. I would imagine it's going to happen in the UK.
Man, this boxing, bro. So, you know, now, listen, all the heavyweight belts is where I'm hanging, PBC. So, they could do a rematch with Andy Joshua. Or they can just let him fight Deontay Wilder. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I think it'll make more sense for him to fight Andy Joshua in the UK, of course, and get the rematch and stuff like that. But at the same time, they got the power. Al Haymon got the power in the heavyweight division right now, so he got both of them. So he don't have to bring it back over. He don't have to if he don't want to. Of course, money wise, I think it'll make more sense to you know, do the rematch. But I think it'll be a different Andy Joshua in there. You know, you never know. Or Ruiz might say, I got his number. But it depends. You know, the thing about boxing is it's like a mindset thing. So Ruiz is the first Mexican heavyweight champion in the history of boxing. Ruiz about to go party his ass off. Yeah, he about to go Durant crazy and about to, I don't know him, but I'm pretty sure. I know if I was the first Mexican heavyweight, I'm going Mexico. I'm going everywhere. I'm the first. I'm history. You know, I'm walking history. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna party my ass off. I'm gonna do whatever I want. So I think, you know, he gonna do that, and of course I think Andy Joshua gonna go back to work. But it all depends on when the fight is. I'll definitely watch it. Hopefully I'll be back ringside for the rematch if they do make it.
Well, Rougarou, I think you're on your way to making your own history, brother. And I really appreciate your time on this interview today. Where can everybody follow you on social media?
Facebook is Regis Prograis Boxing. My Twitter is @RPrograis, and my Instagram is @Regis Prograis. And that's it.
That's it. Thank you so much for your time, champ. Really appreciate you.